Good morning, students. Myself, Subodh sir. Here again, I would continue the chapter 2 of history, that is Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. In the previous two videos, in the two parts, we had already discussed what were the conditions of Russia before 1917. Their social condition, economic condition, and the political condition. And we had already discussed to understand any revolutionary work and the revolution in the country which bring about a change. It is necessary that we must understand their political, social and economic condition, because when the revolution takes place, these changes undergoes a drastic change. If you see the revolution of France, that is 1789, social structure changed, political system changed, and when the social structure and political system changed, then we say revolution has taken place. Generally, when the words we say the revolution words, it means something bloodshed comes to our mind, because this revolution has taken many bloodsheds. बहुत ही खून खराबा हुआ होगा. But we are not related, not concerned about the bloodshed in the revolution. We are concerning the changes that take place in the society. The basic changes that is related to the political system, that is related to the social system, that is related to the economic system. And it is clear that when the political and social system changes, economic changes automatically take a different shape. In 1688, the Glorious Revolution, means revolution that took place in England, is called the Glorious Revolution. And why it is called the Glorious Revolution? Political system changed without being a drop of blood shed. It silently a political change took place. It means from the monarchy it became the constitutional monarchy, and we can say the power came in the hand of lawmaking, power came in the hand of the parliament. That means where it was the complete autocratic monarchy, from the autocratic monarchy it changed to the constitutional monarchy. Still in England it exists, the constitutional monarchy system is there. We are talking about the Russia, and the Russia we have discussed about their political system, the social system and the economic system. Economy was at the bottom level, and the political system we have discussed that it was the autocratic monarchy system. Tsar was the post that was given to the ruler of the Russia. In the previous video, we have also discussed the two type of the theory that was existing in the Russia. One was the industrial society taking shape in the Russia, another one was the socialist society. We have already discussed the industrial society. Industrial society means how the industries came into being, means existence, it increased, because the industries was limited into only few places, Moscow and St. Petersburg. This St. Petersburg, I am saying it is at the time its name was St. Petersburg only. Now its name changed first to Petrograd, then its name changed to 1924 onward Leningrad. We have discussed about the conditions of the workers. They had to go for the work for the long hours, that is 10 to 12 hours. In the small unit, it may go to 15 hours. It means conditions of workers were not good. They were not in the hygienic conditions, they were not living in the very hygienic environment or the conditions. They were forced to live in the slums because their income were less. All the profit was taken by the capitalist, means industrialist. And we have discussed already there in that liberals and radicals were the factory owners also. In the European countries, other European countries where the industrial revolution had taken place, they were concentrating into the capitalist society. The idea is different of the capitalist society from the socialist society. In the capitalist society, the property is assembled, means resources assembled in the few hands. And all the profit is being shared by the few peoples. It means it was clearly dividing the society between the two basic groups, have and have not. One groups which has all the resources available, who were enjoying all the profit that was they producing, and the another ones, the labor class, who were producing the profit but they didn't have the share in the profit. So this was the two basic parallel theory was existing in that society. The idea of socialism, it was the well-known name, it is the Karl Marx. Karl Marx was not from the Russia, and when we talk it, we find that the socialism start from the Russia. Actually, it did not start from the Russia. It spread from the Russia to the other countries. The Karl Marx from the Germany, now it is Germany, and when he born, it was known as the Prussia. Before the unification of Germany in 1871. The biggest state was known as the Prussia, and under the Prussia, the unification of Germany had taken place that we will read in the higher classes. Karl Marx had written a book that is Das Kapital and a pamphlet that is called Communist Manifesto. Due to his political involvement, the government just expelled him from his country, means he has to go in exile. And where he took the shelter? He took shelter in the England. His idea was welcomed not by the capitalists but by the labor groups. You might have been remembering that I had told you at that times that the industrial workers had started making the associations. कुछ याद आ रहा है? Industrial workers were making their associations. Why they were making the associations? They were making the associations to support, to assist the workers at the time of crisis. When there is a crisis, when they need the money, when they don't have the work. These associations, we can say it was the one example of socialist society where the intention is for the masses, not for the individuals or few ones. Many people have started provocating and asking for the establishment of the cooperative society. In the cooperative society, it is the autonomous society where the people come together to protect their social, economic and political rights. In cooperative, the profit is being shared. If you take the example of Amul milk, when in geography, when you divide the industries on the basis of ownership, one comes, that is the cooperative society. Amul is also an example of the cooperative society. All the farmers who were selling the milk assembled together and they started sharing the profit. It means the profit is being shared among the labor groups, means the downtrodden peoples, the peoples who don't have the access to the resource, much resource. They are protecting their rights also. It means cooperative is an example of the socialist society. In England and other European countries, the workers who were influenced, they started making the associations, and when they are making associations, they started demanding the better working conditions and better livelihood. What comes under the better livelihood? In the better livelihood, it comes their remunerations, means salary, means better salary, better working conditions, reducing the working hours. They were the demands because they were being exploited by the capitalist. It means the society which was divided after the industrial revolutions. It means one group, that was the owner of the factory, they were representing the capitalist society, and the workers later on slowly they were transforming themselves into the socialist society because they started demanding it. They wanted the share in the profit. Many associations were formed at the same time. These associations also helped to support the candidate in the election, and it was the SDP. SDP means Socialist Democratic Party. Socialist Democratic Party was not one in the England itself. It was working in the other countries also. In England itself, it helped to formation of the Labour Party. When if you go through it, you will be told that in England there is a two-party system. Like the USA is the two-party system, England has the two-party system, China has the one-party system, and India has मल्टी-पार्टी सिस्टम. यहाँ एक पार्टी नहीं है, पार्टी गिनोगे तो पता भी नहीं चलेगा. So the Labour Party, it was formed on the Social Democratic Party under the influence of Social Democratic Party. In the same way, the same type of party were formed in the Germany also. Many political associations were contesting under the umbrella of Socialist Democratic Party. And you might have been remembering that I have told you that the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party. You may say also it was the Worker Party in 1898. The Russian Socialist Social Democratic Workers Party or Labour Party. These parties were demanded that property should not be assembled in the few hands. We can say they were against the capitalist society, simply capitalist society. The share should be, profit should be shared among all the groups. They were believing these peoples, means communist peoples who were the follower of the Karl Marx. They were feeling that in the Russia, the farmers were the natural socialists they were the natural socialists. And why they told them the natural socialist? They told them the natural socialist because simply they were periodically dividing their lands, cultivating it. Since they were combinedly cultivating it periodically, so they told it was not the workers who were they were the farmers who were the natural socialists. Before 1914, and why the 1914 is important? 1914 is important because the First World War took place. Many turmoil had been taking place in the Russia at that times. Many social changes were inevitable in the Russia. So before 1914, all the political party were considered illegal. It means this party, the Russian Socialist Democratic Party, means Labour Party or Worker Party, it was also considered illegal. So they were working in the hidden forms. They had the newspapers, they had means promoting the workers for the revolt, they were making them understand, but silently still because it was considered the illegal parties. This party simply divided or split two times. This party first in 1903, this is split out. But in 1906 it got reunited, but in 1912 it was finally split, and the largest party was known as the Bolshevik. And this was the majority group and this one was the minority group. This majority group under the leadership of Lenin came to be known as the Communist Party of India. It was the Communist Party of Russia, not India. It was the Communist Party of Russia. Communist Party of India, it was 1924, which was taken from the Russians. CPIM. Marxists who were followed the Marxists, they are called the CPIM. So Bolshevik, later on they came to be known as the Communist Party of Russia. Now there was another party that we were talking about. It was the Socialist Revolutionary Party. Revolutionary Party in 1900. It was the party of the peasants, means they were taking care of the peasants. Till now, it has been clear that many conditions in the Russia that had been shaping in. One, the political conditions that we have read it. People were very much angered with the aristocratic government of the Tsarist rule. Then we have seen the social change. Means earlier we find that the society was the agriculturist society. From here it is converting them to the industrialist culture also, and the socialist idea were also implementing it. And at the same time we see in 1905 a great things happen in 1905. Russia, before 1905, Russia was, before the starting of revolution, Russia was defeated by the small country Japan. It simply revealed the conditions of the Russia. It means it was all set for the revolutions, for the launching of the revolutions. Now we will go the revolution, the changes has been taking place. Generally when we talk about the Russian revolutions, we talk about the changes that took place in 1917 only, but a little bit before it, 1905, a revolutions had taken place. What happened in 1905, then in 1917? Although the Russia had taken part in the First World War with the Allies, but it had to withdraw from the First World War in 1917, just before the ending. विक्ट्री होते होते लास्ट में उसको विड्रॉ करना पड़ा था, किससे? ड्यू टू द रेवोल्यूशन, द सोशल कंडीशंस ऑफ द रशिया मेड द रशिया टू draw back from the First World War, and when the Russia withdrew, it was joined by the USA, you know it. And what happened in the First World War? USA, to show their might, their strength, their power, becoming the superpower, it has dropped the, later on in Second World War it has dropped the bomb, atom bomb. But at that time, First World War, the USA joined the First World War only after when the Russia withdrew it. By the time Russia was at the back foot, and USA become one of the capitalist society superpower in the world. In the next video we will discuss the changes, how the condition changes, how the peasants help, how the workers help, how the soldiers also. It was not only the peasants, it was not only the workers, soldiers also, because most of the soldiers had the link with the village. We have also discussed society was divided, workers were divided, and many workers had the link with the village also. Till now, the social conditions we have discussed in the previous video about the agriculture society. So all these videos that we have discussed, go through it so that it will make you understand the next conditions that was happening in the Russia, which brought the Russian Revolution and its impact. Thank you. Go through it.